The facts of this presentation, and there are many, are the least important facet of the presentation, all right? Let me repeat that, okay, for those of you taking notes. The facts are the least important part of the presentation. Now, here's why. Because let's say that a fact was cucumbers, right? And another fact was tomatoes, and another fact was lettuce, right? And then you added them all up, and you got salad. Ooh, he's talking about salad. That's important, right? Cucumbers and lettuce and tomatoes equal salad. Except when it's fruit salad, it has nothing to do with cucumbers, right? Now it's fruit salad. And there you are, and you wrote down cucumbers, cucumbers. And it was fruit salad, right? Or three bean salad. Or tuna salad, okay? Or alien salad. Now, initially, in the first draft, I was going to say something about returning to the cucumber concept. But really, this is just a good excuse for gouging your own eyes out with a melon baller, you know, and calling it a day. Let's get that off there. It's also sort of a test, because there will be other shocking and shameful images to come. And I just sort of wanted to see if anybody got up and left the room. They don't really belong in this presentation anyway. All right? And I've always been very frustrated by the you know it when you see it. You know, it's a very individualized process. It's very spiritual. Everybody goes through a different process of recovery. How does that mumbo jumbo help us as psych rehab practitioners, okay? One of the things I'm trying to do is just bring some better parameters to what recovery is and how to measure it, okay? And I know that Dr. Anthony yesterday said something very interesting about empiricism and humanism and how you can measure things, and we're going to be talking about measuring things, but we're not going to be talking about measuring the same stuff that we're always measuring, okay? I think that what we need to do is measure something else and then show them how it applies to what we do, to psych rehab and to recovery. Amartya Sen, he is a Nobel Prize winning economist. This is an economic theory, okay? This was developed by an economist. And that's what I mean when I say we're going to be measuring something differently. We're not going to be measuring the same stuff in different ways. We're just measuring, now we're talking about economics. Okay, and Sen also said that the individual's well-being is not captured in a metric that measures income or possessions. All right? It's not about what you own. He said to focus on the local value placed upon that individual's being and what they can do, what they are capable of. All right? That's really the core of the capabilities approach. Your value is how you are valued, okay, where you are. Now I am going to start to build that argument for you, and you will understand it very, very quickly. So Sen looked at the developed world, and of course the lowest caste, right? The lowest caste is the outcast, right? Right? It's the untouchable, the ones who do the work that nobody else wants to do. And I want to tell you something. If you want to think about stigma, Dalit, right? That's what they're called, Dalit. If you are an untouchable, your shadow cannot touch the shadow of a higher caste. Isn't that unbelievable? That's great. That is so great. That's so, for me, just encapsulated, you know, the degree of stigma that they were imposing on this group. And it happens generation after generation after generation. Oh, those Indians, right? But what do? Generation after generation, we deny people the right to vote because, from a capabilities perspective, they have to choose between voting and earning a living. So what did Sen say? He said that local laws and customs, plus the resources and commodities that were available to the individual, plus their personal capacity, would equal this capability set, and their capability set would lead to choices, all right? However, local laws and customs, plus acute circumstances, also impacted the opportunity gradient. That is a nice, fancy economic way of just saying a slope. So if you think of all of us as having to go up the slope, or those things that they, you know, the ramp that they put up for the disabled, it's like you want to lower that as much as possible, right? You want to lower that opportunity gradient as much as possible. That's going to make it easier to get up that slope. I don't know, how many of you have heard this phrase in your state? We use this in New York all the time. A home, a job, and a date on Saturday night. Gee, that's all we want. We're mentally ill. We want the same things you do. A home, a job, a date on Saturday night. Again, it's like, that's all? That's all we want? Okay? Nowhere on that list is a spouse or children, okay? I don't personally want children. I would just like to try to have children over and over. Okay? I want to go to Madrid, all right? I want to see the Eiffel Tower. But, you know, again, in the tone deafness, and we've even had conferences, consumer-run conferences, and this was it. It was like, a home, a job, a date on Saturday, and I was like, oh my God, you know? This is what we're reduced to? All right, and then this is, you know, our opportunity gradient. Is it so high, or have we internalized this message so much that this is what we're willing to settle for? That's adaptive preferences. That is adaptive preferences. That is settling for less, and that is something that all of you as practitioners are always having to deal with. People coming into the system, once again, like I said at the beginning, thinking that all they can expect of the system is X, Y, and Z. Bad medication, bad care, bad clinical care, whatever. And your job, at least in part, is to raise their capacity to aspire, because that will then change their adaptive preferences, which are so low. Their perception of risk is so low that they just go across the corner and they're not really looking, okay? And they get killed in the crosswalk because they think they're safer there, and they're not. Meanwhile, the rest of us New Yorkers, we're like darting out into traffic, we're looking both ways, boom, okay? So, of course, if you're ambling along in the crosswalk, you're going to get killed, and I brought that up because so many of our folks, the people we're trying to help most, are getting killed in the crosswalk, okay? You know what that crosswalk is? It's benefits. I lose my benefits, I'm safe here. I'm safe, I don't want to lose my benefits, I don't want to go back to work. You know how many benefits I lost when I went back to work? I lost my Medicaid, my Section 8, I lost my I got my Medicare back, but I did lose it. I can't even count all the benefits that I lost when I went back to work. I went back to work, I got all those benefits. So our people are getting killed in the crosswalks because they think it's safer there.